Hey, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. In today's video, I am going to be doing a March plan with me, and normally I just use my computer, but today I did print out some things just to make it a little bit easier. And so you will see, I will show you everything that I am using for planning for my second grader and my kindergartner, but I'm gonna move my laptop out of the way so we can get into this. If you are new around here, I use my plum paper planner for my planning, and I do have a coupon code in the description if you want to check that out. But I cannot believe that we are down to the last few months of homeschool. So I only keep a few months at a time. I recently took out February and added in March, April, May, June, and July. July being the last month that I have in my planner. And I do prefer a disc-bound planner because I like to be able to take the pages out. I find it just so much easier as I write out all my plans. And normally I start at the top and work my way down, but I had this right in front of me, so I decided to start with Spanish. We are using Homeschool Languages, and we are right now in lesson 12. I had stopped us at a good stopping point because I do have the older version, and I do find it to require us to stop sometimes a few times within one lesson. And I did stop at this suggested stopping point, so we will pick back up as I do my planning. I will keep that in mind. And I immediately write the wrong lesson, so you will also see why I always use an erasable pen. Now I am going to go back up to the top, which is language arts, and this is for Alani. We are using WAND, which is from Rooted in Language. This is something I don't normally print out, but we're working on the OI sound. We are working on the LE syllable pattern, and then we have spelling words that we will be doing throughout the week. But this is something that I can add to if I need to. For this week, I'm adding the word would because would, could, and should are still a little tricky with that O-U-L spelling that's in there. So I'm adding that one to her spelling, but I will write all of this out, and then there is way more information in the actual program. This is just an overview of what we will be doing as we are reading Harold and the Purple Crayon. So during the week, we will be working on those skills, and then at the end of the week, you will see that we are doing copy work and French dictation. So with the copy work, ahead of her writing anything, we really go over the skills. We go over capital letters, we go over punctuation, we go over vowel teams or suffixes, anything like that. We really go through the passage prior to her copying anything. And then after that, she shows me what she learned through the French dictation. Moving on to history and geography, for Alani, I am using core knowledge, but for Emmy, I am using Torchlight, and I have talked about combining my girls in previous videos, what I'm looking into for next year, so I thought that this would be the perfect week to do it. Alani's current unit is Geography of the Americas for CK History and Geography, so we did the United States and Canada, and we're moving on to Mexico. So I decided that this would be a really good time to put the girls together and just see how they do, see how it works. Again, this is just going to be a week, but I thought it'd be a fun trial. So I have these pages from Core Knowledge, and then I printed out a flag for Mexico for Alani. And then what I ended up doing is jumping ahead in Torchlight. We would not normally be on Mexico. That actually would be something we would do next year since I split level K into 2 years. But the thing is, it really doesn't matter what order you go in. So it's not a problem that I grab this, even though it wasn't our next unit of Torchlight. Emmy only does 4 days of school while Alani does 5, and Emmy only does 2 days of Torchlight. So I do 2 days for history and geography for Emmy and 2 days for science. So I'm going to plan all of the Torchlight days on Monday and Wednesday, and then that gives me the other days to work with Alani. So Emmy is only going to have 2 days still, but if she wants to sit in on those other 2 days, on Tuesday and Thursday, if she would like to sit in and go over the core knowledge lessons with Alani, she is more than welcome to, but I'm not going to force her to do that. Those are going to be the days that it is mainly me doing the core knowledge portion with Alani. And you will see as I go through all of the books, I am going to be sending them books on Epic. You won't see that on camera, but I will send them books on Epic for Alani for her to read. And then for Emmy, it'll be a read to me book that is about Mexico. And I am going to mark all of the pages of our Torchlight books. And then we also will be taking a trip to the library so that we can grab some more books. We will do that on Monday. And you will see me updating the planner as I do this because there are some books that I'm adding in that aren't originally on the Torchlight plans. And so I will add them in as I find those pages in the books. And once I get the books on Monday from the library, I'll add those in as well. I'm not using the science portion of Torchlight this year because I am using Apology as preschool science with my youngest, but it was at this point that I realized that this is when we would be looking at butterflies, specifically monarchs, if we were using the science because of their migration to Mexico. So this is when I decided that I would add in some other books as well that are about butterflies, and it honestly works out perfectly because the unit or the section that Emmy is in right now in preschool science through Apologia is on insects. Now back to Alani's language arts. Normally I plan a language arts all together, but right now I'm checking out cursive as well as writing because I had jumped to Torchlight just because I had that paper printed out so that you guys could see for this video. But normally I would pull all of language arts at the same time, do that, and then work subject through subject. And so I have a TPT thing that I'm using for cursive, and then we are trying out mystery writing. So far it's going really well, but that is what I'm going to plan next. Next, I will be planning math for Alani, and I used to write out a lot more information for math, but as the year goes on, I start to just get down to writing just the unit and the lesson number. But these are all the pages that I already have printed for her, and she is working on arrays. So this is what things look like. This is a notes page for Zern, so this is the portion that she does online, and then what she has to go along with it because it's not just online. She normally does have something she's writing as well. So this is what Alani's week looks like. The dark blue is Alani, the purple is Alani, and Emmy. So now I'm going to start planning for Emmy. So I actually had this previously printed from when I used pinwheels with Alani, so it just really worked out. But this is where we are. We had stopped at the lowercase p with the letter practice. So I am going to plan from there. We are not going to get through all of the days this week. Again, I only do 4 days for Emmy, but we got through those and we're just going to keep going with the plans. I accidentally planned 5 days because I was on a roll, but it's not a big deal. If she wants to do it, I'll do it, but I don't plan on doing another day. But this is what we are working on. She is doing a differentiation between B and P and noticing the voiced and unvoiced sounds because she's also learned G and M. So those types of things are what we will be going through, noticing how P and B are sound siblings, just different things. I really love the way that they really dive into all of the different things with the letters. It's not just peep, beep, and then moving on. So these are the pages that she has already worked on. And as I said, we stopped at writing the letter P, so she did that page, but then we're going to move on to the actual handwriting page where she's using the lines to correctly form the letter. I plan lightly for Emmy, and if we get to do more, that's great, but we're going to work on blending sounds. She has a new book, and then this is her copy work. We practice our capital letters and our punctuation. Moving on to math for Emmy, she's been really excited to be doing these fluency exercises, but here's a flip through of just some of the things that she's been working on. It's been a lot of addition and subtraction within 10. I'll pull these pages out and put them on her clipboard just so that it's easier to grab everything when the school week starts. And then similar to Alani, she has notes pages that go along with any of the online Zern that she does, and she really enjoys it. She gets so excited and she gets so annoyed when she doesn't have a Zern online day. The inside of her clipboard is currently organized chaos, but these are all the things that are going to be helpful for us this week. I will be adding the letter P to this. This is meant to put in front of a vowel or a vowel consonant so that I can easily change the CVC and CV words. And as I mentioned, we are working on insects in science, and it perfectly aligns with what we are doing in history and geography. Literally the very next page is going to be butterflies. And so this is what I will plan for our week. If you are new to my channel, I broke up history and geography and science for my oldest. So my oldest did science last semester, and this semester we are doing history and geography, which is why I have no science planning for her outside of the butterfly things we're doing. This is it though. This is what our week looks like, minus the library books and minus some of the things we do in the morning, like our bird identification and our reading of The Trumpet of the Swan with our read aloud poster. This is mostly everything. So if you like videos like this, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Again, I have a code in the description for this customizable planner. And as always, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.